Honestly, never thought I'd be here in life. My wife has done the unthinkable. In 2014, a year after we started dating, I found a message thread on her phone with exchanged pictures. She told me her phone was hacked. I didn't really believe it, but I told myself to, and moved on from it. We had our first child together in 2016, and got married in October of 2018. Second kid and a house in 2019. I thought life was good. Boring and monotonous, but good. This year I had a vasectomy. A few weeks after, my interests in the bedroom started changing. We explored some things and eventually, she showed me a text conversation she was having with my best friend. It was obviously missing pieces, so I asked her to explain and she denied it. I pulled her text message history for the last 3 months and found thousands of messages between them. For 10 days we argued about this, then eventually I told her I wanted to have her deleted messages recovered by a data recovery service. She eventually admitted she'd been estimating with him for around 4 months, since just after I got the vasectomy. She told me they exchanged pictures and phone calls, and that he convinced her to buy a wireless vibrator that he could use on her over the internet. Several days later, when she realized I was still going to get her cell phone messages recovered, she admitted she had time with a former co-worker of hers. She said she did it earlier this year. 3 days later she tells me there's more. She tells me she didn't really have time with that co-worker this year, it was actually in 2019, and that she also met up with him once for a blow job. She then told me she'd been having time with her best friend, and doesn't know how long it's been going on for. She has some memory problems from a medical condition. She said it definitely started before we were married, possibly before our first kid. She also told me about another guy who she brought into our home for the purpose of having time with, just 2 months ago, but didn't go through with it. And eventually she told me about estimating with another one of my friends, and finally admitted to the estimating back in 2014. The data recovery of her phone failed. I've looked at all her Facebook message history, Google location history, and other digital histories. I discovered one additional person she was estimating with, a female, that she forgot about. I'm so worried that there are more that she forgot about. I also discovered lots of upsetting timeline facts. The time she had time with her coworker was while she was 36 weeks pregnant, on the morning of my 30th birthday party. One of the times with her best friend was about 10 days before our wedding, and she recorded it, and I unfortunately found it. That image will never leave my brain. And again just 5 weeks after our wedding. The BJ meetup happened just 6 weeks after getting married. The Wi-Fi vibrator used with my friend was on my birthday this year, shortly followed by happy birthday texts from each of them. I have no idea what to do. In the absence of a decision, we've entered marriage counseling in an attempt to move past this. But it's so severe, I'm worried it's insurmountable. Before anyone says just leave, it's so much more involved than that. If this was still 2014 I'd agree, but now there are kids, marital assets, and 8 years of memories. Comment 1. What you are going to do to your children is criminal, raising them in a broken home, teaching them by example that a spouse can destroy their mate, treat them with utter disrespect, force them to endure pain and anguish that no human being should ever have to face. Is that the kinds of example you want for your children's future? Well, guess what kind of life they will live, having only this cesspool of a childhood to draw on. My God, man, save your children from having to witness this travesty of a life and do the honorable thing, the prudent thing, the right thing, and dump this thing you ended up married to. Show your children that they should never have to live with a person who is so contemptuously dishonorable. Show them that cheating has consequences. Your wife is as twisted and downright evil as anyone I have ever read about on this forum. Save your children. Save yourself. Stop pretending the right thing to do is to suffer and fix this situation by ending any and all communication with her. Comment 2. Yes, 8 years of memories of her cheating throughout. How do you know she won't do this again? She's a serial cheater and sound like a time addict. You really want your kids growing up thinking gee your marriage/relationship is normal? It's not, and if you truly can't push this boulder out of the way, it'll mess your kids up in the future. If you want to try and make this work, then you really need to let go of this. You'll never forget it obviously, but you need to process and heal through all of this. It definitely sounds like she can't be in a closed relationship, and I'd worry that she'd keep doing this until your last days on earth. Good luck. Comment 3. The only thing you can truly do is just be there for the kids. Other than that, if I were you I'd take off my ring and leave it off. Don't get in bed with her or sleep with her all. Completely cut her off from your love and affection. She doesn't deserve it and she doesn't love you. If she did, she never would have cheated in the first place. If that sounds harsh, and I'm sorry, but this is only going to keep on happening back to back unless you put a stop to it permanently. Comment 4. You understand your children may not even be yours? Have you had them tested? I am sorry this is happening to you, but you need to wake up. This person does not love you. Stop making up excuses on why to stay with someone who has zero respect for you. You obviously are very afraid to be alone. You staying with her making yourself believe that she was telling the truth in the beginning tells me so. You need to test the children to make sure they are yours. You should definitely file for a divorce. Again, she has no respect for you and will never have any. She constantly lies to you and probably never would have told you, if you didn't threaten to get her info recovered. Also, once trust is broken, it's broke. There is no fixing it or rebuilding. That's a lie people tell so they can try to stay together. Again, I don't know why you would want to stay with someone who has no respect for you. Most likely it's because you still are in denial of the severity of what she has done and been doing. Also, if you believe she will stop, she won't. Especially if you stay. She will only either be better about hiding it, like get another secret phone, or more, or she won't even care and just continue doing it. Also, please surround yourself with better people. You understand you don't have to be friends with people just because you knew them for a long time, right? You understand you have no obligation to keep people in your life if they don't respect you, right? To be honest, I feel you probably came from an abusive household that took away your self-esteem. Someplace where people are shitty to you. 2 of your I'm hoping former friends. I pray you got rid of the pos that were messing with your wife, messed with her. You get that she messing with not 1 but 2, and you don't even know how many more she tried to and probably turned her down. Please hear me, you need to leave her if you have any self-respect, even a little. Staying with someone just because it's inconvenient to break up or leave is a really stupid reason. So stay with someone who constantly made you look like a fool. You know, people around you most likely knew they were fooling around, right? People who call themselves friends but duck with your person definitely told others they were. I feel you have a lot of self-esteem issues, maybe even abandonment issues. You need to definitely build yourself up, heal, and know your worth and leave. She doesn't deserve you, and I pray those children are yours. Honestly, what are you going to do if she gets pregnant again? Also, please check yourself for STDs. Good luck to you, and I pray you stop being lazy and do what's best for you and leave. It's better to suffer with the splitting up of all the assets, which if she's been cheating should be easy to get everything, and staying together for the children sometimes does more harm than good. Like I said, please get them tested, or do you not want to face reality they could not be yours? Comment 5. Objectively, there isn't a way to heal these wounds. The betrayal and disrespect is too deep. It's complicated, and it will turn into quicksand mixed with sewage if there are no consequences to her. You are in a pit with a viper, and it will get worse as time goes on. If you want to live with someone who gets their hormone charges off making you the fool in the worst ways, by all means fit into the reality. She very likely would get her rocks off by getting you to raise someone else's biology, so yes, paternity test. Comment 6. So she's one of those wives that cheats before, during, and all the way through a marriage, huh? You know what we call these wives? Hoes. And you can't make a wife out of a hoe, you know? Sorry man, but she's been this way for so long and it's normal for her. She won't change, so unless you want an open marriage, get the papers drawn up and have her served. And if you do go the open marriage route, make sure it's not a one-way street with just her ducking other guys, because she will be ducking other guys and the numbers will go up really fast for her. Realize that she's a slut and always will be. Make sure you find timey young things to get your mind off the hoe you married, or it won't work and you'll just be depressed all the time. And if you do divorce, don't let her control the narrative. Let everyone know what she's been doing, including any wives or GFs of the guys she's been ducking. Unfortunately, it's not only one guy she's been ducking, and you really will never know the amount of cocks that have been in any of her holes, so I would say to just get a divorce unless you are willing to let her continue being a hoe while still being your wife. Sorry man. You will never look at her or think of her the same way ever again since you found out the truth. Comment 7. Well, unfortunately you chose to not listen to your gut 7 years ago. Now this train wreck is tied to you financially at a minimum. First thing is find out if the kids are even yours, and go from there. And you have to walk away. For her and your best friend to treat you this way, you are showing them you have zero self-respect. Without walking away, you will let her convince you to take her back and keep eating large piles of her shit. Comment 8. Well, not to sound like a dick, but you caught her cheating early in the relationship with her and you stayed and then married her. She will never change and it will get worse. This is normally how these types of things end. Unfortunately, she was way worse than most, but you know what to do. It's time to start separating finances and figuring out how to protect your assets, gambling away retirement, and lawyer up. Do not tell her you are doing this, and if you are in an at-fault state, file for adultery. Once had a buddy convince his wayward to sign a post-nup and they moved to an at-fault state, then waited the time frame and divorced her there. But he was a cold, calculating bastard, lol. Time to toughen up. Best of luck. Comment 9. The reason it's called cheating is because someone has went out of bounds from the rules you've agreed to in the relationship. That's why some relationships can withstand it, and some cannot. Like playing a game of Monopoly, when someone is bored they can decide to quit and pass over their money and belongings to a player if they want. It's not the official rules of the game, but it's your household. More power to you if all is in agreement. However, from the beginning, over and over, your partner cheated. Everything she does and says will be questioned now. Can you really believe that strange 2-hour trip to the grocery store was really because of traffic? Sure, with time. But it's going to take a lot of effort, and she's going to have to be completely transparent in a way that may not be conducive to a normal and healthy relationship. If she had simply put this effort into you in the beginning, or even after the first time, or any time without you having to find out, it would be slightly different. Why do you have to call out the behavior for her to want to put in the effort for a change? Can you handle a relationship with someone who you have to track and watch over to make sure it doesn't happen again? It's a choice between long-term stress, always wondering if it will happen again, or short-term stress, getting the divorce, playing nice until the kids are old enough so you don't have to legally stay in contact, etc. She not only betrayed your relationship but your mind and body as well. Things could have been handled differently. It's your choice to decide if you're open to allow her to make this up to you, and then she'll have the option to actually try this time around or mess up in the future. Just make sure the ball is in your court. Comment 10. Let's be honest for a second. Do you really think you can move past all that you learned and trust her again? People that cheat so easily and so close to home don't change. You should definitely get paternity testing done on your kids as well. Aside from being diagnosed as a S-time addict, I can't think of any other excuses that would make what she did worth working on. I have a friend very much like your wife, and she was molested as a young girl. Has your wife mentioned anything of the sort happening to her? Comment 11. I can't even believe what I'm reading here. How are you possibly going to trust her again? Emo, not even the best doctors in the world can undo this amount of betrayal. Your friends too? I think you are in shock? Do you have someone that you can trust to talk to? Someone that has your best interests, and only yours, and kids, in mind? I think you need a minute to really let this soak in. Can you take a weekend or a few nights to yourself and go and stay with family or friends, who haven't intimidated with your wife? I think some space will do you good. Redundant, yes, it's impossible to sort through this alone, but you cannot process this with her around either. Will she leave? This kind of betrayal is traumatizing. I wish you the best. Please follow through with STD and paternity testing. This is a lot. I'm so sorry. Comment 12. You have no idea what to do? My friend, how low is your self-esteem? Divorce her. Jesus Christ, she's ducking cheated on you with like 5,6 different people. That you know of. She's garbage. So what if you have kids? I'm one of 5 kids, my parents got divorced, and everyone was better off for it. And your friends? Drop them, too. They betrayed you. I would never trust your wife, or any of them. Ever. For your own sanity, move on from all of them. Comment 13. Even if you don't leave, which personally I think you should, but hey, it's your life, please watch red pill content on YouTube. Women will say they hate men that are red pill but always obsess and crave these type of men because that's what they are hardwired to like and they can't help it. I say all this to say that I think your wife sees you as a simp and is boring, which is why I think she keep going after excitement with different people because you don't bring excitement to her life. I'm just going off your statement of boring and monotonous. I'm not a psychologist, so I'm not certain on this, but from what I watch of red pill and women nature, these usually are the cause. You know that song by Madonna where she sings about girls just want to have fun? Well, it's true, they do. Fun for them is drama. Obviously not all women are like this, but your wife definitely fits the bill. See a therapist too, because this is a lot on the mental to deal with when the person you love cheat, especially as many times she did. Comment 14. Do you want your kids to grow up thinking that what she does is okay? And something no one thinks of. I ignored cheating. For the kids, for the marital assets, all that. Figured the stability was worth it. Then he left. He left us high and dry. What would happen if she finally cheated with someone she felt worth leaving with? Then you would have less control over the situation. What if she left you to raise the kids alone? What if she took the kids with her and made it hard for you to see them? If you wrap it up now, You are keeping in control of the situation and it would be fair to the both of you. You are teaching the children that adults can disagree about relationships but still be mature and fair and remain civil. Waiting until you finally lose patience, or waiting until she leaves means a messy divorce and your kids watching the two people they love the most fight dirty. Comment 15. As the one great and notorious NSYNC sang, bye bye bye. You can't use the excuse of children to stay. You cannot use the excuse of Marshall assets to stay. I'm sorry, this shows a lack of respect for you and your family. I don't want to be that asshole, but I would get maternity test. I've been with my husband for 9 years. Never once has it crossed my mind to sleep with anyone else. Never once has it crossed my mind to S-time anyone else. Don't throw that well. Daddy issues and blah 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 BS at me either. Because I got M. But I refuse to hurt others I care about because I'm hurting. I'm sorry, you deserve better. It sounds like you are still young. Plus side vasectomies are reversible. Thanks you for watching. Everyday new movies. See you soon.